Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another live stream, another Soccer Saturday Super 6 presented, of course, by Live Sports, or run by Live Sports in association with Sky Bet, I think it is. I hope everybody is doing well on this sunny Saturday morning in South Wales or wherever you are in the world. Had a little bit of rain overnight, but the sun's actually come out now. I think we're forecast for snow for the rest of the week, but Harry Klitschko, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Harry Doherty, good morning to you as well. Hope everyone is doing well wherever you are in the world. Brad FN, hi. Good morning to you, Brad FN. Haven't seen you in the chat before. Hope you're doing well. Where do you live in the world, Brad? Nelfan Alfredo, let's go. Good luck. Hopefully you win the million. Well, it's 250,000. But talking about winning and football predictions, last week we did very well, thanks to everybody. If you have a look on the screen coming up now, this is what happened last week. We actually got them all correct. Just one perfect score last week, but we actually came away with 15 points, which is our biggest haul of the season so far. So yeah, last week, absolutely fantastic. Aussie Gaming, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Nelson O'Freya in here early. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Morning, Mr. Morning Information Service. Ian, the man, the myth, the legend is here, everybody. I live in Liverpool and I support Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool got a tough game this weekend. Probably the biggest game of the season for Liverpool against Manchester City. Ferris77, welcome, my friend, all the way from the Czech Republic. Hope you are doing well this morning. But let's dive straight in, shall we, with the first of the fixtures for this week. And I think it's the cover photo between Southampton or I should say Newcastle and Southampton. So let's go to the play here. So yeah, we've got Newcastle against Southampton. I've already predicted this result in the Premier League prediction show, which you may or may not have seen earlier this week. If you haven't, then after this video, go and check that out. But we've got Newcastle against Southampton. Now, Newcastle having all sorts of problems at the moment. They're currently in 16th position in the last 6 matches. They've lost 5 of those matches of their last 6, just winning the one which was on the 30th of January against Everton. Now, Southampton, after having a really good start to the season, they've sort of come tumbling down, fallen off a cliff. Excuse me. Last week, losing 9-0. Or 4 days ago, I should say, against Manchester United. An absolute embarrassment. I have to say, you should never lose 9-0 in the Premier League, surely. Prior to that, they lost at home against Aston Villa and at home against Arsenal. Prior to that, they lost against Leicester. Before they actually beat Liverpool at home, and prior to that, they get a creditable 0-0 draw against West Ham at home. So what are we thinking, guys, in this one? I've already made my predictions, but I'm interested to see what you are saying. Let's have a quick look at what the stats of the Sky community are saying. So 34% of people are going for a Newcastle victory, 28% are going for a draw, and 38% of the viewership there are saying a Southampton win. So it's very evenly split. Loves Ian has gone for a 2-1 win to Southampton, coming back from that 9-0 heavy defeat, Ian, against Manchester United. Ferris77 has gone for a 1-1 draw between these two sides, and Harry has gone for a 2-1 victory to Southampton. Yeah, I agree. I'm going to stick to my predictions, which I've done in my Premier League prediction show. So I am going to go for an away win to the Saints in this one, and I am going to go for a 2-1 victory. I think Newcastle at the moment having problems scoring, of course. So Nelson has gone for a 1-0 win to Southampton. Yeah, everybody, and Aussie Gaming has gone for a 1-0 win for Southampton. Danny Ings to score. So we all think they're going to, well, most of us think they're going to bounce back. But next up, we've got Bournemouth against Birmingham in the Championship. Now, Bournemouth, of course, sacking their manager, I think last week. Not sure if they've got a new manager in there at the moment, but they've lost their last 4 games. They time to make amends today, but in their last 4 fixtures, they've suffered defeat against Sheffield Wednesday, away against Reading, away against Derby, and home against Luton. Now those teams, they're not, teams at the very top of the table. Although Reading, you could say, are in 4th position, have a very good season, but those others are either mid-table or lower end of the championship. So it's not looking good for the Cherries at the moment. Prior to those 4 defeats, so they gained a 1-1 draw at home against Millwall and a 1-0 victory against Stoke City. Birmingham, having not the best of times this season, they find themselves in 21st position. They have sort of shown up a little bit in the last couple of weeks with a 0-0 draw against bottom side Wycombe, and prior to that was a 1-1 draw against fellow promoted side with Wycombe, which was Coventry City. Prior to that, they suffered defeat at home against Preston. Prior to that, they beat Middlesbrough. Very good win that was, away from home, 1-0. Prior to that, they suffered 2 back-to-back defeats at home against Blackburn and Derby County. Now, can managerless, I think the managers, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section, have Bournemouth with an array of talent. Josh King, of course, being sold, so he's out the door, going to Everton. Can Bournemouth turn things round, or will it be another draw? Let's have a look what the Sky community is saying on this one. So Bournemouth, 80% of people are going for a draw. Bournemouth win. 13% are going for a draw, and 7% are going for a Birmingham win. What are you guys saying? So Nelson's in his Southampton prediction when I think they want to make things right because they're embarrassing last match. Aussie Gaiman has gone for a 2-0 victory to Bournemouth in this one. Nelson Afreo has gone for a 2-1 victory to Bournemouth. Harry's gone for a Bournemouth 1, Birmingham 3. Interesting, of course, got a very good goalkeeper, Neil Etheridge at Birmingham. Harry Doherty's gone for a 2-0 victory to Bournemouth. Yeah, Bournemouth need a new manager, that's right. So will they be able to pull it out of the bag? That's a little bit of a blow that Josh King has left them as well. Ferris 77 has gone for a 2-1 victory to Bournemouth, and Ian has gone for a 0-0 draw. Interesting, guys. Interesting. I don't think Birmingham are going to win this one. It's just that, can Bournemouth, they've had a terrible run of defeats, or will it be a draw? You know what? I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to Bournemouth. The manager's gone, but things have probably been a little bit different in training this week, probably a little bit fresher, so I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to the Cherries. Next up, we got Stoke City at home against Reading. Of course, we just touched on Reading. They're 4th in the table at the moment. Stoke haven't won in the last 6 matches, gaining 4 draws and 2 defeats. Last time out, they drew away against Huddersfield. Prior to that, they lost against Watford at home. Prior to that, they had 2 back-to-back defeats against Rotherham and Blackburn, respectively. Prior to that, they lost, surprisingly, at home against the Cherries, who were in a dismal run of form themselves. And prior to that, they drew 1-1 at home against Nottingham Forest. Aussie Gaming, by the way, has just gone for a Stoke win, Reading 2 in the chat. So, interesting. Let's have a look at Reading's form recently. Look at that. 4 wins, 2 draws. They've beaten Bournemouth at home, Coventry at home, Huddersfield away, and Luton at home. This one, of course, is at Stoke. Stoke is a horrible place to go. They've also had draws against Swansea, very good, and Preston, both 0-0. So they do like to shut up shop when they go on the road as Reading. Look at that. So Stoke City. When was the last time Stoke actually won a match? Let's have a look. Let's drill down into Stoke a little bit further, shall we? Yeah, last time. They've only won once in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 victory in 11 matches for Stoke City, which was at home. They've lost their last 2 home matches. Is Bournemouth and Watford, both in the top 4. So interesting. So I know where I'm being steered in this one. Let's have a look what the Sky community is saying in this one. So 27% are going for a Stoke victory, 31% are going for a draw in this one, and 42% are going for a win to Reading. Let's have a look what you guys are saying in the chat. Yeah, Bournemouth now needs a new manager. Aussie Gamer saying 2-1. Ian's gone for a 2-1 victory to Stoke. Ferris has gone for a 2-1 victory to Reading in this one. Yeah, so interesting. What are we saying? This is a tough one to call. You know what, guys? I don't think Stoke are going to win this one. They've only won once in, what was it, their last 10 or 11 matches. Reading, only losing one in their last 6. So they're not going to lose. So it's either going to be a draw or a win. And is it going to be 0-0 or 1-1? Tight game, this one. Tight, very tight game. Interesting. It's going to be cold up there. I know the north of England's had a lot. Yeah, I'm going to agree with Harry. I'm actually going to go for a 0-0 draw in this one. I'm going to keep that as 0-0. It's either going to be 0-0 or 1-1. But I'm going to go 0-0. Next up, we have got Burnley at home against Brighton in the Premier League. Now, Brighton, of course, going away to Anfield and carving out a magnificent win against Liverpool in their last fixture. Prior to that, they beat Tottenham 1-0 as well. So I think it's Trossard. I think he's from Denmark. Is he from Denmark? No, Belgium. I think he's from. Is he Belgium? Yeah, Belgium. I think he plays for Trossard. Playing really well. Prior to that, they got a 0-0 away draw against Brighton and a 1-0 victory away against Leeds. Prior to that, they lost 1-0 against Manchester City. And prior to that, it was a high scoring. They shared the spoils of 6 goals, 3-3. So what are we thinking, guys? Brighton are in a very rich vein of form, but you can never discount Burnley either. Burnley in the last 2 matches had 2 very tough fixtures. 2-0 reverse at home against Manchester City and a reverse against Chelsea away from home. Prior to that, they beat Aston Villa 3-2. And prior to that, themselves, they beat Liverpool 1-0. Prior to that, they lost away against West Ham. And prior to that, they lost 1-0 against Manchester United. So this one's going to be tight. I think there's only going to be a goal in this one. We see a Brighton win, who are defensively look sound, but Burnley as well. Traditionally, they look sound as well. Aussie Gaming has gone for a 1-1 draw in this one, and Harry Doherty has gone for a 1-0 win to Burnley. This is at Burnley. They've lost 2 of their last 3 matches at home, but they were against the Manchester clubs. Let's have a look at Burnley's overall picture for the season. Just having a look at their home. So they lost 1, drew 1, lost. Yeah, that was a very bad start to the season, but they have picked up, although they have lost the last 2 fixtures. Brighton, let's have a quick look at Brighton as well. Have they played Brighton already this season? Yeah, it was a 0-0 draw down there at Brighton, but Brighton are playing very well at the moment. Brighton, let's have a look at their away record. Brighton, they've won their last 2 matches. Can they make it 3 on the bounce? Prior to that, though, they lost or drew rather. So they haven't actually lost, apart from that Man City defeat. Last time they lost away was way back in December. Let's have a look what the Sky community is saying on this one. I think we've already said. So 42% of people are going for. Sorry, guys. Yeah, 42% are going for a Burnley win. 35% are going for a draw, and 23% are going for a Brighton and Hove Albion. Brighton and Hove Albion away win. Ian's gone for a 2-2 draw. Harry Doherty's 1-0 Burnley. Ferris is saying, without Wood and possibly without Barnes, Brownhill and Brady, will be a really hard match for the Clarets. Brighton played well in last matches. So, yeah, I agree, Ferris. I think this is a tough match for Burnley. But it's going to be a tough match for Brighton as well. But they're in really good form. I can't see them losing this match. So it's either going to be a draw or an away victory. So, you know what? I think they're going to sneak this one. And I'm going to go for a 1-0 away victory to the Seagulls. Next up, we got the 5th fixture of the weekend. We got Middlesbrough against high-flying Brentford. Let's have a quick look at the table, because sort of Middlesbrough, even though they are in the sort of the higher echelons, they are a little bit inconsistent. As you can see, look at that. They are very inconsistent. drawing their last match away against Norwich. Prior to that, they lost against Rotherham at home and Blackburn at home. Prior to that, good victory away against Nottingham Forest. Prior to that, they lost at home against Birmingham. And prior to that, they beat Wycombe Wanderers away. Brentford, absolutely fantastic team Brentford are at the moment. They've last time out they beat Bristol City at home 3-2. They beat Wycombe 7-2 at home. They drew against Swansea away. Prior to that, they gained back-to-back victories against Luton at home and Bournemouth at home. And prior to that, they beat Cardiff City, unfortunately, 3-2. So if you look at that, they do score goals. In the last 2 matches, they've scored 10 goals, but they've also let in 4 goals as well. So scoring goals, but they've got a bit of a leaky defence. So what are we thinking? It's pointing towards either a draw or a victory. Let's have a look at Middlesbrough's last 6. Yeah, as we said, Norwich, draw, losing. Wait, let's have a look at what their form is against the sort of the top 6 clubs, if we can spot them. Okay, Norwich, they drew against Norwich. Who else is in the top 6? Stoke City, they lost. Okay, Middlesbrough, they beat Swansea. They lost against Norwich. Drew last time at Brentford. Who else is in the top 6? They drew against Reading. So when they come up against the big boys, although they did lose against Watford there, they do pretty well. But you've got to say Brentford at the moment are in absolutely fantastic form. So I'm ebbing towards a victory here too. The Bees. Let's have a look. Yeah, 10% of the Sky community are going for a Middlesbrough win. 14% are going for a draw. And 76% of people are going for a Brentford win. What are we saying in the chat then, guys? Aussie Gaming has gone for a 2-1 away victory to Brentford. And Ferris has gone for a 1-0 away victory to Brentford. Ian, what are your predictions for this? Have you gone for a 2-2 draw, or are you going for an away victory to Brentford, or in fact a win to Middlesbrough? I think this is going to be a very, very tight match. Brentford do like to score, so I think they're going to get a couple of goals in this one. It's just whether Middlesbrough can score the goals as well. So definitely going to go for 2 goals for Brentford in this one. But what are we thinking about Middlesbrough? They've got a bit of a leaky defence, haven't they, Brentford? So yeah, I think they'll score, but ultimately I think that Brentford will come out victorious in this one. No, I missed Southampton game. Well, R787B, I'll tell you what. I've actually gone, that you'll be pleased to add, that I've gone for a 2-1 away victory to Southampton in this game week. But I'll recap on that. But our final fixture of the weekend, of course, in this Saturday Soccer Super 6 is Queen's Park Rangers against Blackburn Rovers. Let's have a quick look at the table and the form of these two. So Queen's Park Rangers currently find themselves in 17th position. The moment last time out, they had a very, very good win against Watford. Prior to that, they lost at home against Derby. Excuse me, it was late night for me last night. Prior to that, they beat Cardiff away. Prior to that, they beat Luton away 2-0. Prior to that, they gained a very good draw against Norwich. And prior to that, they lost at home against high-flying Swansea. Blackburn find themselves in 8th position, only losing 1 in their last 6 fixtures. Last out, they beat Luton 1-0. Prior to that, they beat Middlesbrough 1-0 away from home. Prior to that, they got a 1-1 draw against Stoke. Prior to that, they beat Birmingham 2-0. And prior to that, they lost 2-1 against Huddersfield away. And prior to that, they gained a 1-1 draw at home against Sheffield Wednesday. God, this is probably the trickiest of the 6 fixtures in this Saturday Super Soccer 6. QPR, let's have a look. They've won 3 of their last 4 matches. They beat Watford, who are in 5th position. They beat Cardiff, who are always a tough nut to crack. They beat Luton as well. Although that Cardiff match, of course, I think that was Neil Harris's last game in charge. Luton, of course, they beat 2-0 and they beat Watford. They did lose at home against Derby County. They're at home against Blackburn. Now Blackburn only losing once. Now this is going to be very, very close. let's have a look what the Sky community is saying in this one. So we've got 42% of people are going for a QPR win, 27% are going for a draw, and 32% are going for a Blackburn Rovers victory. What are you guys saying? Ian's gone for a 2-1 victory to Brentford. Yeah, Ferris 77, 1-1. Ian has gone for a 1-0 victory to QPR. Tough one to call, but I am going to go in this one for a 1-1 draw. I don't think you can separate these sides. QPR in very good form at the moment. Harry agrees. He's gone for a 1-1 draw as well. So let's recap on our predictions for this Soccer Saturday Super 6. I've gone for a 2-1 away victory to Southampton. I think they'll bounce back from that 9-0 reverse against Man United. I've gone for a 2-0 home victory for Manchester's Bournemouth against Birmingham. I've gone for a 0-0 draw between Stoke and Reading. Really can't decide on if anyone's actually scoring that match or gain a victory. In the other Premier League fixture of the 6 fixtures, I've gone for 1-0 away victory to Brighton. I think Brighton are in very good form, and as Ferris77 pointed out, there's quite a few absentees for Burnley in this fixture. In the next fixture, I've gone for a 2-1 away victory to Brentford. Brentford in fantastic form, although Middlesbrough do cause teams in the top 6 all sorts of problems. It's managed by Neil Warnock. And finally, I've gone for a 1-1 draw between QPR and Blackburn. Can't separate the two teams, but I think there will be a couple of goals in that fixture. So, of course, we've all got to go for a golden goal prediction. I think last week we predicted 5th minute. It was actually the 4th minute, I believe, that the first goal was scored. So what we're thinking, guys, always comes out with 4th, 5th, or 6th, or 7th minute in this one. Golden goal, 5 minute. Yeah, Ian, I'm going to totally agree with you. I think we're going to go for 5 minutes. I think there are a few tough matches to call. So defensively, these teams are going to, start off quite solid. Ferris77 is going in the 10th minute. That's quite a few minutes into these fixtures, Ferris. Yeah, I'm going to go along with Ian in this one. I am going to go for a 5th minute, I should say, scoreline. I am going to go to head with Jeff Stelling in this one, and I'm going to submit my entry. So if I were to go for a little betteroonie in this one, a £10 bet would see returns of £1,709.15. If I was to go for a 5-0 bet, it would come back as £854.58. If I was going to go for a £2 bet, it would come back as £341.83. And if I was going to put the solitary pound, it would come back as £170.92. Now, last week, of course, I got all 6 fixtures correct. It was only one scoreline correct, but if I'd have put a bet on last week at a pound, I would have won around about £190 odd. So I'm weighing up. Maybe I'll do that today. I don't know, but there we are. That concludes my predictions for the Saturday Super 6. First 77 going for 10th minute. But thanks as always for joining me on this Saturday morning. Some very tough fixtures away from the Saturday Super Soccer 6 in the Premier League. If you haven't already seen my Premier League predictions, then go and check out that video after you've watched this one. But anybody play a fantasy football? Because maybe you can help me on my captain. I'm not sure. I think there is a game coming up. Yeah, the game is being updated. But last week I had something like 85 points in the Fantasy Football League. I'm not sure how all you guys are doing in that. But I'm having a very good season with regards to fantasy football. Should we have a look at livescore.com? See if there's any matches. Let's have a look at the early kickoff for today. Should we make that a little bit bigger? Let's zoom it in a little bit more for you. There we go. So 12:30 in about half an hour. Go on, spend some of your millions. Ian, last week I could have won £199, but I won on the lottery last week, so yeah, keep that to yourself. It was only £70 for 3 numbers, but good all the same. So, Aston Villa versus Arsenal, about to kick off in about half an hour's time. Very tricky one to predict. Both Arsenal, I think, and Aston Villa losing last time out. So I'm actually gotten in my prediction show. I've gone for an Arsenal victory in that one. But we've got, as we said, 3 o'clock kickoffs. We've got Burnley against Brighton, Newcastle against Southampton. Just before tea time tonight, we've got Fulham against West Ham, and the evening kickoff at 8 o'clock. We've got Manchester United against Everton. So, Ian, are you sat in your car watching this at Morrison's or Asda's or Sainsbury's, or perhaps you're shopping at Waitrose this week, or are you at home in the comfort of your home in Swansea? Got to say, Swansea, magnificent last night to beat Norwich in the Championship. I think they only a couple of points behind Norwich now with a game in hand, I believe. But yeah, I hope, like to say a big thank you for everybody who've taken time out of their Saturday morning to join me here. I've got a busy day ahead of me, of course. Nathan is going to be streaming live this afternoon for the Bristol City versus Cardiff City match, which he'll be kicking off around about 5 to 3. He'll be streaming live for a couple of hours this afternoon. So if you're not up to anything else, then make sure you go and watch him on his live stream. I'm going to be probably in the chat with him for that while I'm watching the match as well. So hopefully see you in that. Ferris77 has said, Vikalv Kortal has been sacked from Sparta Prague as coach. The new coach is Pavel Vribra, who has coached the Czech national team in recent years. Very interesting, very interesting. Oh, bring some biscuits down next time you're in Swansea. I will do. Did you have your chips on Saturday and curry and all that sort of stuff on Sainsbury's car park? Excellent, good choice. We have a Sainsbury's delivery on a Thursday evening. Ian, yeah, Sainsbury's, bit woke, controversial, but all the same, they've very good food, particularly like their packs of chicken, their frozen chicken, which we normally have with pasta and curry on a Thursday evening, Ian. So yeah, thumbs up for Sainsbury's food. Most of it is very nice. But I think I'm going to have to leave it here then, guys. Hope you have a great rest of the day watching football. Of course, it's the Six Nations as well. Wales play Ireland at the Millennium Stadium or Principality Stadium tomorrow. So a busy weekend of sport. In fact, it's a feast of sport, a feast of football, a feast of rugby, a feast of snooker. I'm not sure, did you all watch did you catch the snooker on midweek in that sort of power snooker? Very good watching that was. But yeah, but thanks again for joining me this morning. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the Premier League fixtures on Wednesday evening, and hopefully next Saturday when I'll be back for another Saturday Soccer Super 6. Thanks as always. See you next time. Have a great day. Cheers, guys.